What is up guys, my name is Kameding and today I am finally back with some more Unturned guides. I did miss all of this posting for you guys, so I'm finally back. I decided to come back and post for you guys. No excuses. I'm not going to be explaining myself of why I was gone. Just know one word: school is what it is. Let's just get right into this guide. Now I'm sure you read the title and the thumbnail, so you know the guide for today is the bow guide. We're going to be talking about all 5 of these bows as well as all 5 arrows, and hopefully giving you guys a better idea of how good these weapons actually are, because they are easily obtainable, some even craftable, and the damage output of these guns are phenomenal. So hopefully I can convince you. So firstly, let's just talk about the arrows in Unturned. Now there are 5 different arrows. We got the normal arrow, the birch arrow, the maple arrow, pine arrow, and the explosive arrow. Now, firstly, let's talk about this arrow. This is uncraftable. You have to obtain it in the actual world, but it is uncommon, so you could probably easily find this. Of course, as you can tell with this 95% arrow, one shot with this arrow does 5% of its health. Going to the birch, maple, and pine arrow, these are actually craftable with 3 sticks and 1 nail. Very, very easy to obtain. And as you can tell, with one shot on a birch arrow, it does 25% health. With a maple arrow, it does 20, and with a pine arrow, it does 10 of its health. Then going lastly to an explosive arrow, when you shoot this, it just goes bye-bye, and is craftable with 1 arrow, 1 tape, and 2 raw explosives. Now, no matter what arrow you shoot, it's going to be the same exact damage as the bow does. The only special arrow is the explosive arrow, which actually does 15 extra damage to a player, but also does damage to structures, to vehicles, to animals, zombies, anything extra. Use the explosive arrow. Now we got the arrows out of the way, let's talk about the bows. We have 5 bows in the game: the birch bow, maple bow, and pine bow. These are all craftable. You can easily craft it with 7 sticks and 1 rope. That gives you the craftable bow. The compound bow and the crossbow are not craftable. Of course, better weapons, but uncraftable. Now let's just start off with the birch bow. As you can tell, when you craft it, it starts off with a birch arrow, and you can easily just shoot it, kapow, and as you can see, it does 6% of the birch bow's health. Now if you want to repair this bow, you can easily just go to the repair section, and it only costs 4 sticks. You can easily repair this bow. Now although the birch bow does 6% of its health, the maple bow only does 5% of its health, and that pine bow only 4% of its health. That pine bow can shoot 25 shots before it's actually destroyed, and of course 4 sticks and it's back alive. Now the good thing about these 3 craftable bows, no matter if it's a birch bow or a pine bow, they all do the same exact damage. You do not have to worry about, ooh, if I make a pine bow, it's going to do more damage than the birch bow. No, that's false. All of these craftable bows do 66 damage to the head, 48 damage to the body, and 36 damage to those limbs, on players of course. As you can probably tell, they all only have the magazine slot. You can't put a tactical or a grip or a sight on these craftable weapons. And what makes these different is a couple things. First off, the range. The birch bow's range is only 130 meters. Then we got the maple bow at 145 meters and that pine bow at 160 meters. And also, although very slightly, that pine bow does have a better accuracy than the birch bow. I don't know if you can really tell, but that compared to that, the pine bow is quite a little smaller of a spread. And all of that with the health is all that's different with all of these craftable bows. And also, I do want to reiterate, like I said, it does 68 damage to that head. Whether that be a pine arrow or a birch arrow or a normal arrow, it's always going to do 66 damage. Unless you use that explosive arrow. Shoot that explosive arrow right at the head, it's going to do 81 damage to that head with that 15 extra damage of explosion. Now anyways, we got that birch, maple, and pine out of the way. Going on to compound and crossbow. Of course, let's start out with that compound. As you can see, when you hold it up, you can actually put a sight as well as a tactical on this. So you can have like a laser sight with a little 7x scope or something if that really helps, and you're basically set to go with this compound. It's actually a very, very good weapon, and a lot of people don't know, but this compound actually has the same exact damage as that crossbow. They both do 88 damage to the head, 64 to the body, and 48 to those limbs. Now people ask, what makes the compound bow and the crossbow different? Well, barely anything. They both have 200 meters of range, and both do 3% health when one shot is shot in, meaning 34 shots with each weapon. What's different with the crossbow, it also has a grip. You can't really see it, but of course you can put a horizontal grip or a vertical grip or a bipod. Really, you can put a grip on this gun, which does make it a bit more accurate. And one more thing that's better, the crossbow has slightly better spread than the compound bow. Basically, you can't even tell with the human eye. When I'm looking at on my spreadsheet, the compound bow has 0.01 spread, while the crossbow has 0.001 spread. Yeah, I know, barely any difference at all. And that really concludes all of the bow weapons, the complete bow guide. I just gave it to you all. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If I did forget anything about arrows or anything about bows, or if somehow I did some incorrect information, it's always possible. Comment down below. If you want to see any other guides on anything, comment it down below. Of course, thank you so much for watching. And once again, I do want to reiterate, I am very sorry for that lack of uploads for over a month. I think it's almost been 2, maybe 3 months. I am very, very sorry. I did not mean for that to happen. It just got out of my control, out of my hands. I couldn't do anything about it. I just hope you guys enjoyed this guide, and I'll see you guys next time around. Bye-bye, y'all. Bye-bye.
Welcome to the Country Crowd. We got the hamburger, we got the down. We got the special, so nigga that's here. We don't fuck with plank and making it clear.